Hot set. With the magic of video, people get to also see how monotoned I am versus just audio magic. So, like, should I be like, "Hi, this is Ben, and this is 21 questions," and then we have an intro. Do you want to do that? Hi, this is Ben. I play drums and guitar in Forest and the Sea. Ideal creative space or process. Before I really thought it was like deadlines, things like that. I had to have a part done by a certain time, all that good stuff. But right now that I'm a little less pressed for time, I'm actually creating a lot more. I have less deadlines for that, and it's actually kind of nice. I'm doing more. So hopefully that trend continues once I start having deadlines again. And that's a cut, right? And then I can keep going. Should I not look down at you guys at all? Favorite track off of our upcoming album? I'm gonna have to say it is "No Place Called Home." That was a song I've put on the back burner for a couple years. Started off as an acoustic track, and then it sort of just changed completely, and I'm really excited with where it went. If I could work with one artist, past or present, who would it be? Like, I would have to see what they looked like. Like, post, do you know who you are? I'm going to say Jeff Buckley. He really only has the album Grace, and it was insane. I couldn't stop listening to it once I heard it. There were some unreleased things that came about, some delayed releases, things like that. I didn't really check those out because I didn't know if it was like the final product or the finished product or anything that he actually intended or was complete in his eyes. So I haven't listened to those. I just wish I knew what would have been the scope of music if he had made more than one album. What first got me into music was my grandfather. He was a bluegrass musician, so I was around that a lot. I got to see him play mandolin and fiddle, all that good stuff. It was really fascinating to me. That's as early as I can remember, really. Do I think records really sound better? I feel like maybe if you have really nice equipment, like the stuff I have, probably can't tell a difference. I will say that if I put a record on versus like a CD or streaming something I have to flip from side A to B, or if it's like a double LP or anything like that, I think I stick around and have a more active listening going on. I'm more focused on it, so I tend to buy them for that reason. And you get to hold it. You get to see the album art up close and personal. You get to see all the liner notes. I think it's really cool. Would I rather tour every day, or would I rather stay in an area and have a steady gig? I think right now I'd tour every day, but as I got older, maybe had a family or anything like that, I would choose a steady gig. Maybe be like a studio musician or something like that. Play a lot for other people's albums. That'd be cool. What do I think of singles versus albums? I love singles. I think they're a great way to really hype up a release. I pre-ordered a couple albums during this quarantine just because of singles releasing. I'm really excited for them. I think releasing too many singles to the point where it's like half an album, or having them front loaded at the beginning of the album, is really annoying. I know I've purchased some albums where I knew the first 4 tracks because of how they released them, so that's kind of annoying. I think singles within reason are great, and full albums are great. The top 3 skills I think a musician needs. First one is listening. The ability to listen, see what other musicians are doing in the room, being able to read the room. Second is being well versed in a number of styles. And third is the ability to accommodate and be flexible. Things are going to change, and you need to be able to change with it, whether that's the form of a song, the songs on a set list, anything like that. I think the ability to be flexible and change and be accommodating is extremely important. What era of music is my favorite? I'm pretty okay with where things are at right now. Nope, that's a lie. I like the stuff I like right now a lot. I think 90s had a nice mix. 80s were, I like them all. I don't know. That's it. The 30s sucked. Am I critical of myself? And if so, how does it impact how I write music? Nope, I don't like that one. I don't even want this question.
Tough.
Live and uncut. That's it. I'm sorry, Kyle. I cut you off
Miles
with ODB.
Unbreakable, Shatterproof, To the Young Youth.
You want to
wanna
get
get
done?
Shoot.
Pow. What is my favorite video game console and game right now? I pulled out my Wii and I've been playing The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. I beat it when I was like 14 or 15, but now I'm having a tough time with it, which is really frustrating. But it's still a fun game. What's so funny, Nick? It was in a box. It was in a box. That's not how I should say that. Burger or burrito? Can't go wrong with a burger. I gotta go with a burger on that one. That's all I have to say about that. What is the most off-the-wall music that I like? Whew. I don't know. We'll just cut there and that'll be it. I don't know. I worked at UPS for a little bit, and there was a guy that I was unloading with, and I was jamming out to the Jersey Boys soundtrack. And he's like, "What are you listening to?" And I was like, "Disturbed," and I threw a package as I said it. It was Jersey Boys.
You good then?
I have an answer for that now.
Which one was that?
Most off-the-wall music. What is the most off-the-wall music that I listen to? I really like Cyndi Lauper. I think it's just a fantastic staple of that era in pop music. If I could be on one TV show, it would probably be either The Office or Community. I love both of those a lot, and I have a deep connection to those characters, and I'd love to hang out with those characters. Who would I want to mix and master my music? Definitely Sean Everett. Sean Everett has engineered some of the best sounding albums I've heard in the last few years, from The War on Drugs to Casey Musgraves. I just think everything he works on is fantastic. I love listening to them. It's to the point where I check out what he's working on, and I will listen to those artists even if I've never heard them before. I like that question a lot. That is a good question. What is the coolest thing that I've done musically so far in my life? I think the thing I'm most proud of is I got to make a lullaby for my nephew a couple years back. It was very personal to me, and sort of ripped off "Isn't She Lovely" by Stevie Wonder, and I put a recording of his heartbeat at the end of the track fading in, which I thought was pretty neat. Buck's grilling me. They're playing good cop, bad cop here. Kyle's like, "Why do you like being happy? Do you say the love of your life or two strangers?" Who is the best artist I've worked with and why? That's pretty tough, because I got to work with a number of different musicians in a number of different capacities from going to school for music. Some were more of like a director's point of view. Some were collaborating as other musicians. I was very lucky to work with all the people that I did. And also, I mean, even with our band, we got to work with each other in a number of different ensembles, whether it's marching band to a jazz combo to a big band to a wind ensemble, even a rock band. I mean, it's hard to list everyone, but I am very grateful to being able to work and collaborate with all the people that I did in a number of different capacities. What besides music is my favorite outlet? I'm going to say sports and athletics. When I was going into high school, I pretty much stopped playing all sports and went right into just doing nothing but music. I knew that's what I wanted to do with my life. And then when I got to college, that became my stress. So I got back into sports to sort of help relieve that stress. And it's been a big part of my life ever since. How do I feel about repetition in music versus taking creative risks from album to album? I think every artist is allowed to do whatever they'd like in that regard. I can also be upset about their choices as well. Some people, I'm like, why did they change their sound? And then other people, I would say, if I want to listen to that sound, I'm going to listen to their earlier stuff because they did it better then. But as long as they're making the decision, they're not pressured in any regard, I'm okay with whatever they'd like to do because I would like to do whatever I'd like. What musicians or celebrities do I wish saw my videos? I'd say any musician that I'm currently listening to. I remember I saw Phoebe Bridgers open up for Connor Oberst before she released her first album. And I was stupid enough to almost ask, hey, do you need a drummer? That was amazing. And then she released what many people thought was the album of the year. So it'd be really cool if she interacted with me via social media, even though she doesn't play drums. But that'd be cool to be friends with her and all the people she works with. Her drummer, Marshall, is awesome. I would love to connect with him, take a lesson off of him. He's great. Really look up to him. And that entire band's awesome. What is the best visual I've seen an artist use to support their music? As far as album artwork goes, currently I love The National. I think they have some really cool album art. I love their stuff. As far as merch, Phoebe Bridgers has some cool stuff to name drop again. John Prine sold fly swatters with his name on them, which I absolutely loved, and I still want one. I think that's probably going to win. Most embarrassing experience performing. I think I was in 8th or 9th grade in jazz band, and we were playing Brick House. I was playing drum set. I was setting the drums up when apparently we found out that the one saxophone player who was taking a solo was sick and was not able to come. So we cut out one entire pass through of the form. So there were only 2 soloists, and I did not get that memo. Or I was in 8th or 9th grade. I probably heard it and I didn't care. That's a very high possibility too. But I'm pretty sure I would have remembered that. So I was just playing, and then 2 times through, I'm like, all right, one more, and then we're ending this bad boy. And they ended it, and I kept going. Then the director, I think it was in good intention. It said, that drummer just loves playing at the end. When in reality, I was on a riser and I just wanted to like throw myself backwards and disappear. It was probably the worst experience ever.
How about the time you got the truck stuck in the mud?
I own that like a badge of honor. I'll wear that hat, Nick. I'll wear that hat. And you know what? It was kind of impressive how deep I got it. What's my warm-up routine? If I'm getting ready for a gig, I tend to give myself a lot of time, take it nice and slow, get nice and warm, and then really just have a nice lengthy warm-up. Some of the things I've been doing lately are in a link right here below. You can check out on our YouTube page, forestandthesea.youtube.com/gov. That's not right, but there's a link. Just click it. If I could have an alcohol brand endorse me, who would it be and why? As far as hometown goes, I'm saying Iron City. Wouldn't mind having some good IC light gear. That's pretty cool. Nationally, I have to go with Old Milwaukee. Both are just A+ options for any occasion, whether it's a social gathering or yard work. I'm going to take care of you. What do I like to collect and why? I really like collecting albums and CDs. I think they're really cool to have physical copies of things. You can see the liner notes, see who played on them. You can see the album artwork. Sometimes they come with cool stuff, little bits of history too. I like looking at older ones, seeing the current condition and seeing all the cool stuff in them. What do I consider the best labels in music and why? Some artists I see tendencies for like going to different labels would be Dead Oceans, Matador, ATO, Top Shelf, Polyvinyl. I like the lineup they have on the labels, so I'm going to go with those. What am I following on Netflix or Hulu? I already talked about The Office and Community, so I'm going to leave those out. I'm going to extend that to Amazon as well. I love a show called Red Oaks. It's like an 80s coming-of-age country club type show. It's great. Soundtrack is wonderful. I'd recommend that. That's about it, I think. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much for tuning in. For more content, please like our page. Share it with your friends if you liked it. If you didn't, don't tell them anything about it. Alright, thanks guys for tuning in. Smash that like button.